Hello folks, this is Audiotron 1003 and this video is focusing on the Transglass product brochure catalogue I was sent many years ago when I was interested in buying one of their bollards. Now interestingly enough, this company, Transglass Products, they made bollards for another company that was around at the same time called Pierce Gauchel. So you can maybe, if you're really lucky, although it's very rare now, you might still find some of these products around Nottinghamshire, especially around the Mansfield area of Nottinghamshire. There is one or two knocking around in Nottingham, but they are extremely rare these days. But anyway, my plan is to show you this brochure and the pictures and the text in there, and then show you an actual bollard that I bought, which is a kind of a hybrid, which I'll get to later. So this is the these are the pictures. It was a bit dark because that's actually sunset. So this is the logo and the products. There they all lit up, and this is mainly, I'll show you this picture first because this is something they sent for me when I asked for some product shots. So these are basically amber versions of what I have behind me, although these don't seem to have access doors, so they may or may not be base lit versions. I had one of those, but I got rid of it because I ran out of space and saw something else. So there we go. There's another picture of these things. They were in. There you go. You can, if you're really lucky, you can see there what looks like a possible access door, or the side of one, which meant that those were stem-lit bollards. There you go. There's the yellow access door. So some flowers. So basically what this series of pictures is, it's mainly featuring the same bollard in different locations. There you go. I did see quite a few of these back in the day, but not anymore. There we go. Mansfield and Nottingham. So back in Mansfield, back in the day, that's what you saw a lot of. So anyway, let's have a look at the actual brochure. And just like in the last video, I'll slowly scan down the pages, so if anyone wants to read these, they can. So this is the first part. To me, this bollard manufacturer, they made bollards that were quintessentially what I imagined them to be as a child, just plastic versions. That's what they're made of. Okay. Of course, it's not very latest anymore because they don't exist and things have changed. TG30. That's the bollard I have, and that's what it looks like if it was facing forward in my room, but mine faces backwards. And unlike this one, mine has an access door. These are baselit versions. This is the TG93 in this case, but for all intents purposes it looks the same as this one, which is a TG30, and the main difference being one would have where am I going with this? One would have a back door and the other one wouldn't, and also the bases would be different. One would have the stem light, which is what this is, and this is what I mentioned in my teaser trailer. So there you go. It hooks onto the back of the door on the inside and hangs out with these strip lights, which are, what are they? 13 watt fluorescent tubes. So those things would have hung at the back and they would have illuminated the bollard inside. And in this case, this one is a baselit version, because I have that base just behind me. But anyway, let's have a look. So that's a TG30 stemlit bollard, and this one is a TG93 M base light unit. Okay, so there we go. So I go down here, TG93 features. Okay, and then finally down this side. So these are basically box signs, but I thought, well, since they're in the brochure, I might as well show you them. I did toy with the idea of once buying a small one, but then gave up on the idea, thinking, well, I don't have the space, I need it for something else. And this is a TG600 millimeter bollard. Everybody seemed to have one of these. Every manufacturer seemed to produce something like this, and this is their version. I didn't really like this design at the time, but I did like the amber version of the TG30. So there's the top part. There's the rest of it. And your specifications. 1.2 meters high again, just like I mentioned in a previous video. Okay. And then sorry about that. And then a couple of pictures. That is a bollard I have under the windowsill. Those are made of GRP. They start out as flat sheets of paper printed with the panels and faces on them, regardless of what they are, and then they're encapsulated in glass reinforced plastic, and then they're molded to fit round like a sort of rectangular tube, and then they go onto the base and they're sort of fixed. And I've seen that. I've seen pictures of that in process, and there you go. There we go. Fiberglass. The trouble with the fiberglass ones is they're very, very light, and the problem with them though is, although they're self-cleaning, they smash very easy, so they don't withstand the same kind of impact, nothing on the back, as say a metal bollard would. And finally, this thing, emergency canopy. I once thought about one of these as well, but then again I thought these are ridiculous, so in terms of their size, so I decided not to bother. I have seen these things around Nottingham back in the day, especially when a bollard or a street light or something, mainly a bollard, has been knocked over and they want to sort of secure it from the public. So that's that. So now that I've gone over the actual brochure, what I'll do is I'll show you an actual TG30 bollard. Now it's facing backwards deliberately, because one reason is all of these bollards look pretty similar, so I thought, well, I'll have one in reverse because I like the door and the design of it. And also the other reason is these are all sort of damp traps. I store them in this thing, and I use those to stop my Lego sets from getting damp. Down in the bottom we have the base light, which I'll switch on later, but also I have the original base for this bollard in the roof. So this is a dual sort of purpose bollard. I can either make it base lit or I can have it traditionally stem lit. And you can just see in there the aspects. Now it's reverse, so it looks like a 610R, but it's actually a 610L. And you can see the little round marks where the reflectors would be, and if I can get this inside, there's your panel, and that's inside the top. And if I turn my camera around, or my tablet, you get a good view of the base light. Now please don't anyone ask me to make a video on this, because it would just be a monster for me to do. I'd have to clear out so much stuff, but I will light this up and show you. Let's get this back out. So the idea is that this door, this one here, that just simply slides into these grooves, and then it's bolted with a with some kind of bolt. It has a triangular head, and you need a special key to get into it. The things themselves, the shelves that is, they're held in place with either shearing bolts or actual bolts. Now if they were nylon, they would snap on impact. If they were steel, they wouldn't. So whoops, bumped it again. So what I'll do is I'll pause the video, switch this thing on, and show you what it looks like lit up. So this is the bollard with its light unit switched on, and it's flickering because of the style of lamp. I've slotted the door in, so if I slide that down, this is what it looks like. And what I'll do is I'll briefly pause the video and switch this one off, because that's not meant to be on.